Yeah, hi, good morning, all. Can you hear me? Fine. Yeah, good morning. So, we are focusing on this rules, right? So, please be in mute. The first rule of an automation tester is here also we are going to be analyze the requirements. The requirements are nothing but the project information only. So, just we are going to be analyzing it. Next, we are going to be understanding the test cases. So why? Because we are going to be converting the manual test cases into the automation scripts. So that is the reason. So we need to analyze it. Next, the third one is what? Involving in automation feasibility. So what is meant by automation feasibility? So we already discussed about this. The feasibility is nothing but, so it is going to be explained that what to automate and what not to be automated. Okay. Next. So here we already discussed about that. What to automate and what not to be automated. Next. The fourth rule is involving in framework selection. So now, what is mean by a framework? So the framework is just like a structure. Okay. So basically, here we have a project. Coming to this project, there are 1,000 test cases. In this 1,000 test cases, how many we can be automated? We already decided. So after that, now here, finally, so 800 test cases and the 200 test cases. So here 800 test cases can be automated. Now our duty is what? We need to automate these 800 test cases. We need to convert it into the automation scripts. 800 test cases means we are writing 800 programs, or we will call it as a test scripts. So if you want to run a program, first we have to select that one and we have to click on this run button. So if you want to execute all these 800 programs, how many times we need to click on the run button? 800 times I need to perform the click operation. Again, it leads to the performance issue. So it is going to be time taken process. So to avoid this, we will go for the framework. Okay, we will create one skeleton and a structure. That is the meaning of a framework. It's simply a structure. We are defining it, and we place all these 800 scripts in the framework. And just if you want to run all these scripts, we need to click on the run button one time. So no need to click on 800 times. We define one structure and we just click on the run button one time. All these 800 programs will be executed one after another and giving the results. Like that, we will define a framework. The framework already decided by the company based on their requirement. The project manager's leads will be decided. Okay, so here, 1 minute. So this framework's already used in the company. Okay, for every project, they're using the same frameworks only. Okay, now there are some user-defined frameworks are there, and the built-in frameworks are there. So user-defined and predefined are built-in. So coming to this user-defined, so what are the things comes under the user-defined framework? So let's say like a modularity framework, data-driven framework, then keyword framework, next hybrid framework. The combination of the data-driven and the keyword-driven is called like hybrid framework. This can be defined by us. We can implement a framework like this. Some predefined frameworks are there. So here we have to come to know this. The test engine, the structure, everything they already, the skeleton already defined it. We just use it for our automation purpose. Then Cucumber. These are the predefined frameworks. It depends on the company which one they are using it. They decided they already have the framework. You are not developing any framework as part of the automation testing. The frameworks already exist, so just we are using it. So once we are moving to their frameworks concept, then you will come to know how it is going to be looks like, what are the things we placed in the framework, how to execute these test scripts by placing this in the framework like that. So we'll discuss this one at the end of this training. Before do that, I already said that in order to work with these frameworks, we require this basics of Java. We require this the basics of Selenium. We need to implement it. We need to automate it. If you know these things, then you can easily work with the framework. So our intention is first we need to learn the Selenium and go with the core Java along with the Selenium. Then we are implementing these test cases in the framework and how we are going to be executing it and how we will get the results, where the results are stored, like that we will come to know. So this is about that, the fifth rule. So basically, if you have any idea on the framework side, you can suggest it to the high level people. Mostly they won't take our decision, but this is how it is going to be look like this. Next, the fifth rule. Once the framework is decided, here we'll start developing the scripts. So developing this, the basic scripts means converting this, the manual test cases one by one into automation scripts. So that is the meaning of this, the developing the basic scripts. Once we develop the basic scripts, we need to enhance it. So enhancing the test scripts. Enhancing means just we are improving this, the basic scripts. So in the last class, I said that how we are using this, reusing the code. Here we are using this, the Java concept like methods or functions. With the help of that, we are going to be reusing this code. That is about that the enhancement. Suppose if you want to do the validations in automation, checking the code is properly working or not, like that. Here we have to use some conditional statements. Okay, so like if else switch, like that. Okay, so here we are improving that the basic script by enhancing this, the test scripts. Next, the seventh one is debugging. So what is mean by debugging? Or we can go with that, executing the test scripts, nothing but the programs, whatever we are going to be converted from manual to automation. Then we have to perform this debugging. The debugging is nothing but line by line code. We are going to be checking it whether the program is going to be properly working or not. If we have any queries, like any errors in the code, there we will come to know that in exact location where it is not working, like that we will come to know by debugging the code. So this is about that. Then the ninth one is like involving in test shoot execution. So the test shoot, or we will call it as like test suite. So it's nothing but the collection of test scripts, means a group of test scripts will be executed like a batch testing, 200, 300 programs at a time for executing it. That is the meaning of test shoot execution. Then finally, we are going to be analyzing the results. So these are the rules of an automation tester in any company. This test shoot results, we are going to be analyzing it. So from the beginning, so we are doing these activities in the company. So as an automation tester, first we need to understand the project requirements, understand the test cases, then do the feasibility. So there are given 1,000 test cases. In this 1,000, all can be automated or not. How many we can? So we just give the number like 800. Then going to the framework, which framework they are using it, what is there in the framework, where we can place our scripts, where we have to execute it, what is the process, you need to learn it, you need to understand it. They will give everything, the configuration and the setup of the framework, setup of the automation, everything in the company. Okay. But you need to know some idea about that. So which one is required to work with the automation testing, which tool we are using it, we are using Eclipse or not, like that. So the basic knowledge you required it. So once you understand the framework, they will give the test cases, right? One by one test case, you need to develop the script. Then you have to enhance it. Then you have to execute it. If you found any errors, then you have to debug the code. And we need to involving in the test suite execution, like a batch testing. Finally, we are analyzing the results of this execution, the batch results or final results of the code. So any queries from your end, you can ask regarding this. These are the rules of an automation tester in any company, not only one company. In any company, these are the activities we're doing it. So in order to do these activities, first we need to learn this Selenium. Then we have to learn this, the basics of the core Java. Okay. So this is about that, the rules. If we have any queries, please ping in the chat or you can ask. If no queries, we will moving on to another concept here. So I already said that this training is more focusing on this, the framework implementation part and the working with this, the automation activities. So we'll pick 7, 8 test cases. We will do the automation from the beginning. Okay. So in order to do that, first we need to learn the basics. If you know the basics, then you can play like anything. So this is about that. So fine. Now we will move to this, the introduction about this, the selenium. Okay. So basically, before selenium, I already said that we have a tool called QTP, Quick Test Professional or Unified Functional Testing. Okay. So this QTP or EFT is a licensed one. And coming to this Selenium, it is an open source, everyone, anyone can use it. What is the meaning of licensed one means? If I need to use this QTP software in our computer, right, we need to pay some license cost. But if you want to use Selenium, no need to pay any license cost to anyone. That is the meaning of open source. It's a free one. Anyone can download, any company can use it. Okay. Now, the people are thinking like that the Selenium is a tool. So, the Selenium is not a tool. So, it's a combination of different components. So, first concept is here the components of Selenium. So, what are the components? So, basically, why this name is provided like that? See, this KTP vendors are like Mercury people. Okay, so in organic chemistry, right, there are some elements. So, the selenium is one of the element. So, for the mercury, right, the cure for the mercury, the overdose for the mercury is like a selenium. That is a reason. So they introduce it the name like a selenium for the QTP. Okay, so that is not required for you the history and all these things. Just basically you can learn it. So they're giving the name like that. These are the vendors while they are introducing this selenium because of this reason they give a name like that. So when it is comes into the market, right, around 2002 or 2004, the selenium is comes into the world. These are the things you need to understand it. The components of selenium. So what are the components of selenium? So the first component is here, the selenium IDE. The second component is Selenium RC, the full form, we will discuss it. Next, Selenium WebDriver. And the fourth one is like Selenium Grid. Okay, fine. So now we'll see one by one. So IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It acts like as an interface. So what is the duty of an interface? To interact with applications or the browsers. So interact with browsers. Why we need to interact with the browsers? So basically, the Selenium IDE is a record and playback tool. So whatever we are going to be recorded, that script will be automatically generated. You no need to write it. Automatically the script will be generated and we can play back it. We can execute that script. The same test case is going to be automated. Okay. So here the record and playback tool. So whatever you are going to be automating or playing on the browser, if you are doing some test case, suppose you are opening this the Flipkart, and if you are doing click on login, enter this username password and click on login. This whatever we did it manually, the same thing is going to be recorded in the tool. Okay, that is the meaning of this record and playback tool. So, but here there are some drawbacks. So this is outdated. Nowadays, no one can use it. It is deprecated. No one is using it. Okay. So these are the reasons why it is going to be deprecated. Basically, in our manual testing, what is the first step while we are writing a test case? Open Firefox browser or any browser. Okay. Then enter URL. This step I need to automate it. But by using this IDE, we cannot do it because we can record and play back on any open browser. We should open the browser manually, then we can do the record and playback. But coming to this automation, right, what it means, the tool itself should open the browser automatically. But in this case, screen is not sharing. Now you are visible.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So automation testing, we need to automate it like open a browser and enter the URL. But here the browser should be opened manually first. We need to open it, then we can do the record and playback. But our intention is we don't need to open manually the browser. The program itself should be open the browser. So that is about that. The first drawback. So the record and playback is done on open browsers. So it cannot open the browser through the code like that. Then the second drawback is like parameterization. What is mean by parameterization? See, we written a program through this, the record and playback tool for the Gmail login. So I am using my username and my password in the code. I can execute this program so like for multiple set of data. Like here we will have 20 people. The same code cannot be reused to execute with the different set of data. Every time it is taking my username and my password only. We cannot pass the different set of data to the existing program. So that is about this, the parameterization. Replacing this, the constant with the dynamic values. The dynamic values in the sense, I want to reuse the same code with some other X and Y username and password. So that is not going to be possible here. Okay. So this is about that, the parameterization. Here we cannot implement the conditional statements, the looping concepts. We cannot going to be use it. Conditional statements and loopings. And it is supporting that the linear framework. What is mean by linear? So the linear framework means at a time two test cases cannot be executed. This is going to be happen like step by step, one after another only it is going to be executed. So these are the drawbacks in the Selenium IDE. So nowadays, no one can use this, the Selenium ID. It is deprecated or outdated. Later on, they moved to this RC. RC is also nowadays duplicated. No one can use this RC nowadays. So we'll see what happened in this. Coming to this RC, the full form is remote control. What is the duty of this remote control? So it just act like as a server. So whenever we click that in our remote TV remote, what happen? It passes some action. Okay, it triggers some action. Same like that here. First, see one example. So I just write a code to retrieve the data from a database. This is a database. Here we will have the data in the sense you are the students. The student records will be there in the database, like student name, mail ID, phone number, like that. I want to retrieve it. We just write a program. See, this program directly we cannot interact with the database. First, it is giving the request to the server. Here we will have this RC server, the remote control server is there. Whenever you are giving it, now the server is going to be giving the request to the database. When the database is giving the response to the server, and the server is going to be giving the output to the program. So if you want to run any program, first of all, we need to start this RC server. Without RC server, we cannot communicate with the database. Okay. Every time we need to launch this server. First, we need to run this RC, then the program execution will start. Otherwise, it won't do any execution. It means every time we are depending on this intermediate nodes or servers. But our intention is we no need to depend on this intermediate servers and nodes. I want to directly interact with the database. So in order to interact with the database directly, here we are moving to this Selenium WebDriver. So here the WebDriver is an interface implemented in Java. Directly it is going to be interacted with the applications. We no need to start the run the RC server like that. So here we don't need to depend on the servers. So we have to focus on this. Okay. So in this training, we more focusing on the Selenium WebDriver. So people will come to know that the Selenium or the WebDriver or the Selenium WebDriver all are same only, the Selenium only. So here we are learning about this the Selenium WebDriver. So how we will configure this WebDriver and we will discuss it. Okay. Going forward, we're more focusing on that how we will automate a test case by using this WebDriver. I'll explain from the basics, okay, from the configuration point of view, each and everything you will get it easily. Then here, the next one is like Selenium grid. The grid is mainly used for parallel testing. So what is mean by parallel testing here? So the parallel testing is nothing but I have one test case. That test case I need to execute on the both the systems parallelly at a time. So I have the Windows machine, I have the Linux machine, and here we have Chrome. I'm using it. Here I'm using Firefox. See, when I run this run button, one test case, like the same script is running on the both the machines parallelly at a time. That is the feature of the Selenium grid. With the help of the grid, the parallel execution is going to be performed. So we will see about this, the Selenium grid. So these are the four components. Do you have any queries regarding this? You can ask. Yes, go ahead. Any question?
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Please re-explain selenium grid.
Grid is like parallel testing, right? There are two computers. You have two laptops in your home. One program is executing on one code. The same program is executing on another computer at a time, both the time. Okay. If you run that, the script is executing on the both the laptops, the same script, but with a different configuration, or the same configuration also, it's working fine. In office, right, one machine is there and there are some computers. Server is in one room, computers are in one room, right? If you run the code is executing on all these 10 machines at a time, parallelly or one after the another. Serially also we can do that. Serial and parallel execution is done by the Selenium grid.
Okay, okay, thank you, sir. Okay.
Mhm. Yes. Any other questions? See, it will be easy, okay? I will train like that from the basics, from initial point of view. I will do the spoon feeding of the selenium. So whatever we are using in our real time, right? We are going to be sharing with you every information. Not only this, we have this advanced concepts. So coming to this, the advanced concepts. The first one is like test engine. We already discussed it is a built-in framework of Java. So there are some advantages of over the user-defined framework. So I said that the test suite execution. Okay. So with the help of the testng XML file, we will do the test suite execution. Like 400 test scripts at a time will be executing as a batch like that. Okay. So we will do like that. Then here we will have this Maven. The Maven is a build tool, build configuration tool. So you will come to know these things once we complete the Selenium WebDriver. Other than that, you didn't understand it. So we maintain the jar files here. Okay. Next, this is like Jenkins. The Jenkins are mainly used for the continuous and integration purpose. It means our office timings like morning 9 a.m. to evening 8 p.m. But our test scripts execution will start at 10 p.m. daily, right? So you are not available in the office, how you will do the execution? So here, with the help of the Jenkins, we can schedule the time and so and so date and so and so time we need to execute it. So the script will be executing on this for particular date and time. Then GitHub, it it is a repository. Our code will be stored in the GitHub for easily maintained purpose. Okay, so everyone will have the GitHub access. So we can upload the code or we can download the code like this. So we have to perform it. Then POM, it's a phase object model. So this is going to be used for the object repository purpose. So to know all these things, first we need to learn the basics of this Selenium. Then you will come to know. Along with this, we are discussing about a project. We already tested. We'll pick 10 test cases and we have to do this, the framework implementation part. We'll execute all these 10 test cases in the framework. 10, 50, 100, all are same. Okay, if you know how to execute this 10, you know how to execute this 800 as well. So like that, our training is going to be focusing on it. So these are the advanced concepts. Once that is done, we'll move to advanced concept. These are the navigation part only. There is no much programming in the advanced concepts, only the configuration. Tool basis, we will configure it. Based on that, execution is going to be happened it. So this is about that, the Selenium introduction. Okay. Any queries here? You can ask. So ID and RC are outdated.
Hello,
Yeah.
good morning, sir.
Okay.
Sir, can you repeat this form concept, page object model?
Yeah, that's what you cannot understand initially. Okay. It's a page object model. It's for repository purpose. In a page, there are some elements, right? Like username, password. For this, we can store these username, password in a separate class called page. And whenever we require this object, we can reuse it. So that concept need to be implemented, then only you will understand. It is not a theory to explain and understand it. Everything should do the on your own hands. Every concept. We don't have any theory in the Selenium. So we have the tools and we will have different test cases, scenarios will handle by writing the code. Okay. You need to do it by yourself. I'll explain this. I'll give the instructions. Then you have to perform it. There is no theory in the Selenium. First one or two classes for the configuration. How we will do the configuration like that. I will show you. I will do it for everyone. You no need to worry about it. I will set up the Selenium. Once the setup is completed, then onwards you will start working on it. You have to do the assignments on the daily basis. I'll give the assignments. So at least two, three we are going to be giving on each day. Okay. I'm explaining some programs here. Then you have to do that in your computer with your own hands. You have to do that everything. Okay. If you are depending
Okay,
on me, you will not get anything. Okay. So
okay,
if
sir.
it is
Thank you.
part, I will show you right something. But if it's not a theory, we have to do that everything.
Okay, sir.
So I'll show you one program regarding this. So there is a manual scenario. I'll explain one scenario. For example, I need to open the Chrome browser and navigate to this Amazon website. No, test ng means ng for next generation. The test ng is a Java framework that is built-in framework. Already framework defined it. With the help of that, we can execute the test suite like collection of test scripts. So you doesn't know these things, right? That's what once we completed this the basics, right? Then you will come to know the differences why we are using testng instead of the previous ones. Like that, you will compare and you will know the differences. So as of now, you doesn't know anything, right? You will not get anything. So I said that these are the things we are going to be covered in our training. That is the thing. And we also covered the Cucumber framework. These are the built-in frameworks, testng, the Cucumber. So nowadays people are using this Cucumber framework. And what is the difference between the BDD and like testng and Cucumber? What is going to be happen in the Cucumber? What is going to be happen in the testng? Like that, we need to compare it. Then you will get a lot of information about that. To know these things as well, we require this the basics of the Java and the basics of the Selenium. We need to complete it. Then only you will get more idea about it. So it's not a theory. That's what everything you are new. You need to complete the basics. Then you can come to know that the differences. Why we go for this one. What is the purpose of the testng? What is the purpose of the Maven? How we can use the Maven in our automation project, how we are using the Jenkins in our automation project, what is the purpose of the GitHub, so how we will upload the code and retrieve the code, why we are doing it, what is an advantage of using this, like that you need to compare it. Okay, so that is the reason. So you have to complete the basics, then you will go with the advanced one. So we are using a tool like Eclipse IDE. It's like integrated development environment only. So old days we are using like Notepad to work with the Java. Nowadays can use this to handle this. So we just write a simple code and just execute it. See whatever we discuss whether it can be performed it or not. That will automatically launch us the Chrome browser. See, it is automatically launched and closed it. The reason is so first we need to understand this which browser we are using it. So just get that the browser history. See 105 we are using it. And whatever I'm going to be teaching it that is available in this website, the selenium.dev. Every class, every method, whatever I'm picking it, we are going to be getting this one. I'll show you the documentation as well. Just we need to show now. First, first of all, we need to move this the browser's concept. I'll explain all these things going forward. This is what you are learning it. That is updated the version. So we need to update that the latest version. That is the reason only. Okay. That got failed. Now I'm executing it one more time. So now it is launches the Chrome browser. See, and navigating to the Amazon, and it is going to be enter the data in the search Harry Potter. Up to here we write a code. So that's the reason it is going to be performing it. Like that we will do the automation. So in order to do that, what need to be configured, what are the tools we required it, so what are the methods we need to run it. So these are the methods: get method, find element method, send keys method. All this information is available in the official website. I already said that the Selenium HQ or selenium.dev. Just open this tool, click on downloads, and go to the source page. Okay, so source code git repository. If you scroll down that, there is a documentation part. I'm using a language like Java, right? You have to click on the Java language. You will see this. These are the packages and the classes. If I'm using anything, you will be find over here. Suppose we are learning about what? We are learning about this WebDriver, right? The WebDriver will be available. So this is a WebDriver. Just open it. On the bottom right, we'll have to come to know this. These are the methods. Get method. Get is a method to navigate to the particular URL. See, we are using it. Get method. So this is the URL we are passing it. If you want to pass the Flipkart, you can open the Flipkart. So just provide the Flipkart related URL. So like that, we'll see all the methods and the usage of the method, where we can use it, how we can use it. Like that, we will discuss it. So this is about that. Going forward, we are going to be learning it. So everyone should bring your laptops and connect the sessions from your laptop on the daily basis. Okay. Any questions you can ask. Can you hear me properly? So we have session on Monday, okay? So tomorrow we don't have class. From Monday I will start the WebDriver, Selenium WebDriver, how we will configure it. That's what I said, that everyone should connect from your laptop. We will do this setup and everything in your machines. Then we will start that working on it.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Yes.
Sir, uh, when I changing the URL, no need to change the WebDriver, sir.
No, no need to change the WebDriver. WebDriver in the sense what? So
Like
here you
you,
have to
sir.
change it. You need to
Yeah,
change
okay.
it. See, if I open the Flipkart,
Set
if you want
property.
to, no, that set property is not required. It.
Yeah.
If you want to change the browser, right, at that time you need to change it. Suppose I'm using the Chrome. If you want to use Firefox, it's a different way. If you want to
Okay.
launch Internet Explorer, that is a different way. That's what we are learning here. So all
Yeah.
how we
Okay.
will do. Okay.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So we have session
Thank.
on Monday. No session by tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes, any other questions? You can clarify it regarding the subject and everything.
Yeah, sir. Yesterday I have a one question. So regarding that, after preparing the test case, we are going to the meeting. In the meeting, the managers will approve the test cases, sir. Or we can
Test
directly go to the yeah. After preparing the test cases, I mean, we need to take approval from the manager or directly go to the process.
No, 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 no. Need to manager is review our test cases.
Okay.
Then we have to send to the BS. That
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
we just change the URL. It is opening the Flipkart.
Yes, sir.
Very
I can see.
yeah, it's very easy to understand it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
one is
Thank you so much.
yeah. Just Biswal, any questions? People are asking like the passed out right 2012, 2012. See, whatever this, you can put the experience around 4 or 5 if needed. You can place 6. Not an issue here. Everywhere we are doing the same work. I already said that we are working like 8 hours. Whatever we can do in 8 hours, we can do it. So based on your experience, they won't give more work. More work in the sense what? Only we are doing 8 hours only. Within this 8 hours, how many we can complete, we can do it. So better put the experience, more experience, and remove the gaps. Then you can get a job right. They won't bother about the gaps. They won't bother about the passed out year like that. You have the subject skill or not. If you have subject, they will pick up you. But you need to put that at least more than 5 years. 4 years into the automation, 1 year or 6 months into the manual, around 4.8, you can place a resume. You will get 20 calls in a day. If you put only manual, you will get only single call or we are not sure about the call, whether we are getting it or not. Okay. Any questions? I already said that I'll explain how to place a resume and everything. If you have any queries, so I'll update the resume. So don't miss any class from automation. Every class is an important one. For any questions? Yes. See, people are asking Cyprus is a different. No one knows Cyprus. Selenium is what everyone is using the Selenium in nowadays. Yes, guys, please be in mute. See how we will check that the jobs as well, right? Go to this Naukari and you can search with your skill set. See this test automation engineer, Selenium test automation engineer. 3 days back they posted it. 4 to 6 years. 6 days ago, 1 day ago. See here. So there are number of jobs. Selenium, Java, automation test engineer. See this is how. Same like that you can check your course. I don't know about that. Okay. You have to check this. The vacancy, see, 3 days ago they posted. So 1 day ago they posted. Chennai location, automation test engineer, Java and Selenium, 3 to 5 years experience. So like that, we will have number of vacancies for this. See, one day ago, Cognizant automation test engineer, Selenium, Java, Cucumber. See here in Kochi location, work from home during COVID. So there is work from home availability also. Then see the number of vacancies 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Now this is how you confirming it. Which one is the boom present days? One day ago they provided exabyte technologies, automation, 5 to 10 years. That's what I said. Minimum we have to place 4 years in automation, 1 year in manual. Then they won't bother about your gaps and everything. They required only the skill set. So whether this guy can suitable for our position or not. That's it only. Okay. I'll train you like that. It depends on your hard work and practice. Okay, fine. Thank you. See you on Monday.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Enjoy the weekend. Monday we'll start the web driver, the Selenium web driver.